I'm back on the Bruce Trail. I'm heading to the Limehouse Conservation area, very popular spot. This is my third hike in the Toronto section. I'm not using a car. This morning, I took GO Transit to Georgetown. I rode my bike to the village of Limehouse and parked it. From there, I'm following a loop. I went south on the Canada Goose Side Trail to the main trail and hiked to where I left off the last time at number 15 Side Road, the 14-kilometer mark of the Toronto section. Now I'm heading north again. I'm going to pass through the famous hole in the wall and see the historic lime kilns. Okay, it's getting a bit easier now. This is great. I like rugged patches, but after a while it gets a bit tiring. This is nice. Little bridge here. Over the bridge. And what do we have here? A swamp nursery. The word swamp brings up thoughts of foul-smelling muck and biting insects. That's for sure. I've got to keep moving because the biting insects are going to get me. I hiked the Toronto section in February, and I remember this stretch very well because this is such a beautiful forest. It's just gorgeous. And it was gorgeous in the wintertime. It was one of those sunny winter days, snow all around, just beautiful. But so nice to see it in a different season as well, with the weather warm. These mosquitoes are kind of driving me crazy, but I like the warm weather. I like the full woods, the full leaves. I remember this part too. This is right on the edge of a farmer's field. It's just a narrow bit of wood, and the farmers allowed the Bruce Trail to go along this bit, and you weave your way through the trees. Look how pretty this is. Somebody put a bench here. This is great. Breezy, no mosquitoes. Here's my lunch. I've got blueberries, pomegranates, pumpkin seeds, and the main thing is oat groats. That's the kernel of the oat. So we're coming up to number 5 Side Road, which is the 19.4 kilometer point of the Toronto section. And in terms of the trail as a whole, this would be the 225 kilometer point of the Bruce Trail going south to north, the 1/4 mark of the trail. So quite a kilometer stone for the through hikers right here. The other thing about this spot, as you come out to number 5 Side Road, you come onto the old schoolhouse of limestone. The school was built in 1862, and Limehouse was really starting to take off. Limehouse just down the street here, just starting to boom. It was built originally as a one-room schoolhouse, just one floor, just one story. And then in 1875, when things were really booming, the second story was added. I found a picture online from 1913, 20 children at the school. In 1913, just the ground floor was being used, so they had fewer pupils at that time. Okay, we're going up the escarpment. The Bruce Trail. So we are now in the conservation area. This is a beautiful park and certainly one of the most popular destinations all along the Toronto section of the trail. This path here is the Bruce Trail, but there are other paths that are wider and smoother and more family friendly. Here's where the trail gets interesting. All along here, rainwater over the millennia has eaten through the limestone, created all sorts of caves and crevices and fissures. Just the rock all eaten away. You don't want to fall into that. Everywhere you look is amazing. Just so visually impressive. And we are approaching the famous hole in the wall. One of the favorite spots for Bruce Trail hikers. Kind of a novelty. Look at this fissure in the rock. It's quite amazing. And you can see this ladder at the far end, and it leads down for the Bruce Trail to continue. So here we are at the hole in the wall. Heading down. And there are two sets of ladders, you can see. Okay, here we go. And that is the hole in the wall. We're coming to Black Creek. It once powered the sawmill that was standing here. You can see the ruins. Here's the little bridge, famous on Instagram. I was here in the winter and there were signs all over the place saying, do not walk on the bridge, don't walk on the stones. And the footprints in the snow were all over the bridge. So they have had to do something to protect the last vestiges of this little arc bridge. I feel like I'm visiting Angkor Wat or some ancient civilization. Limestone industry, it's a little hard to relate to. The workers would quarry the rock from the escarpment, blast it apart to break it up, get these kilns fired up, dump the rock from the top into the fire, and then after it was cooked, they would take it to a limestone mill to crush it and mix it with cow hair and sand and make it into mortar, so reconstituting it as a rock again in a way. It was used for construction and really helped in the building of early Ontario. This was not the only lime operation. You can see remnants of it in Niagara, but apparently this area, Limehouse, has the largest collection of lime industry ruins in Ontario.